Are you sick of looking at Netflix and you don't know what to watch?
So many movies out there, you don't know which ones are good, which ones were bad.
You curious about what's out there?
I'm Joey Powers.
I'm Don Tretler.
This is The Best Pictures.
The ones you don't want to miss.
Hit it.
Say hello to my little friend.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Winners go home and prom queen.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I don't deserve this. Deserves got nothing to do with it. No sequel for you.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of The Best Pictures. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
I'm Don Tretler. Welcome to the show.
Happy Veterans Day.
Yeah, happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day to you, Don.
Oh, right, I'm
You
a
served,
veteran.
yes, you served the military, so
I didn't
thank
go
you.
out to get a free meal though today. I looked to see what restaurants were giving out free meals. Margaritas, Applebee's.
And you didn't go to Margaritas, have a couple margaritas? And...
No, I had to do the show today. We're doing it.
That's all right. It
around
would have been fun. It would have been definitely fun. Thank you very much for your service, though. It's definitely
thanks.
an honor. So, in honor of Veterans Day, we're going to do war movies today,
Yeah, and trying to talk about ones we didn't talk about already.
which is not going to. We both know that's not going to happen.
And we already started the show with a debate about whether Full Metal Jacket or Platoon are better movies. And I always associate the two of them together.
Well, because they came out. Before we get into it, I just wanted to say, Friday night was a big night for your son.
Yeah,
How did it go?
it went pretty good.
They had a
good turnout.
They had a good turnout. They had like a big performance at the Moose. Congratulations to the Man-Made Tragedies.
They did a good set first.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's the first time live here in Bellows Falls, but
Yeah.
they did play at the middle school once.
Yeah, but no, that's awesome. I'm proud of the guys. It's good that they all get together, and it seems like they practice a lot, and they do, they're doing stuff that's productive.
Yeah.
They're not playing video games. They're not just playing on their cell phone. They're actually getting together weekly, and I think that's awesome. So congratulations to them.
And Saturday, the football team had a big day.
A bad day.
They had a bad day.
They had a bad-
Don't tell me they got creamed.
47-6.
Oh, no, I have to go to work, people. Come on.
No. It was bad. It was. I guess BF drove down at the beginning of the game, and they looked really good, and I don't know if there was a turnover or if it was a turnover on downs or whatever, but after that it was
That's horrible.
pretty rough, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get razzed at work. Well, maybe what they'll do is they'll move Brattleboro up into another division next year, and then Bellows Falls would be state champions again.
That's for another show because I have a whole opinion on that. That's just it's ridiculous. But
Yeah.
so Full Metal Jacket gets 8.3 and I think Platoon is 8.2. And Platoon won Best Picture in 1986. It was Oliver Stone won Best Director, won Best Picture. 87, it was Kubrick, Full Metal Jacket. And it was just, they were so close together that I think that's the reason people look at them and they're they're synonymous with each other, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Right.
I definitely like Platoon a lot better. I don't know what you're feeling.
I think I like Platoon better too.
I mean, it's nothing against Full Metal Jacket, and maybe it's because Platoon came out first, or if I saw it first, because I obviously was a kid when they both came out, but I don't know, I like the story of Platoon better than Full Metal Jacket,
Right.
and I don't know, Colin's kind of up in the air on it. He hasn't seen much of Full Metal Jacket.
I guess I got to watch Full Metal Jacket again. I'm due to watch that movie again, and I'm pretty sure I own it. I need to get all my movies together.
What even was the story, Platoon?
What do you mean? It's like,
But they were in Vietnam. That was
well,
kind of
it's
all I
like
got.
the two sergeants are fighting over Chris Taylor. Like, who's he gonna side with? Is he gonna side with Elias or is he gonna side with Barnes?
Well, that was pretty.
With
the
Jesus
entire time.
or the devil?
Exactly. That's the premise of the story: is they're fighting over this character's soul, so to
I
speak.
don't remember Barnes even trying to.
I don't think. I think.
also don't remember
I think Chris
Elias.
Taylor is just torn beside which side he's supposed to be on, because it's obviously split into two sides. You have Elias's side, which are the stoners that are just hanging out, just having a fun time, and then Barnes'
softly known as
side.
the right side,
What's that?
and softly known as the right side. That doesn't take Little Vietnam.
I'm just saying it's two sides, and Chris Taylor is torn because you don't really know which side kids. Barnes kind of protects him at the beginning. Do you not remember that when what's his face gets killed and Bunny falls asleep,
Oh, yes.
and then Barnes kind of sticks up for him. He's like, the next mother that I catch sleeping is gonna get shit on, basically.
Yeah.
You know, so Barnes is kind of sticking up for him, like he
Well,
knows
Barnes
that.
didn't want to get shot.
Well, no, I think it was
it's not
Barnes
doing it.
saying that someone else screwed up and he's sticking up for Taylor. And then you have William Dafoe who sticks up for Taylor later in the movie, and then it just that's the premise of the movie. I mean, I don't know how you don't get that.
Didn't get that. 'Cause
Well,
I didn't care about it. I didn't care
well,
about
you don't.
Chris
Well,
Taylor
that's like-
anyways. He was just a crappy character.
Am I wrong?
That he picked.
Am I wrong?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think he was an interesting character?
No, but he's the main character.
He's supposed to be us. He's supposed to be the everyman.
He's supposed to be exactly the
That's
innocent.
my problem.
He's the innocent rich kid that just joins the army.
You can't relate to Charlie Sheen.
Not at all.
This show just went downhill fast.
And that tends to be something. I was just talking about this with somebody too. I know what it was. It was Shirley at the library that I had recommended because I was really enjoying the series Homeland.
Mm-hmm.
And she started to watch it, and she said, "I don't like either of the lead characters. There's a male lead and a female lead." She says, "I don't like either one of them." I said, "Yeah, that reminded me of you didn't like Lebowski because you didn't like the character.
I didn't like the character, right?
Even though it's hard to relate to the whole rest of the movie if you don't like the main character."
Exactly, absolutely.
And I think Colin didn't like Charlie Sheen. He couldn't relate to him.
Well, he is a very. I mean, when you have two strong performances by supporting actors, which obviously they were both nominated for Best Supporting Actor and they were great in their performances, it's very easy to forget a character like Charlie Sheen because he wasn't particularly strong, I don't think.
No,
Yeah.
he was supposed to be kind of, in the middle.
Just, yeah, exactly. And the other two were just kind of feeding off of his
Right.
likeness, I guess, for lack of a better word, or innocence, I guess.
Now, is that your favorite? Would that be your favorite of the war movies?
It's tough. I would probably say Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan gets the
Yeah.
nod over this one.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it, I know, dozens of times, I'm sure. The
Right.
opening scene is just,
Spectacular.
you don't see that. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I remember watching it in the movie theater and just, like I said, the part where Tom Hanks is dragging the guy and then all of a sudden he's dragging half the guy. It's powerful stuff.
Right.
And just the way it's filmed, it's almost like you're panicking. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, I just want to go somewhere else because I feel like I'm under attack. And that's just...
Well, I think, Mel Gibson's Hacksaw Ridge was supposed to be something like that. Did you see that?
I have not seen that.
Now,
And I know you liked it.
Well, no, I sort of liked it, but I kind of felt like he went over the top with it. 'Cause
Right,
it's
too
a cool
violent,
story.
right?
It's about well, he's not a conscientious objector because he's still there. But what he does is, it's a guy, he decides not to pick up a gun. So he's a medic. So instead of being heroic killing people, he becomes heroic saving people.
Right.
And that's really the gist of the story right there. But it's some of the stuff that goes on was kind of like you said, kind of reminiscent of that opening scene of Saving Private Ryan, which I don't feel like was over the top because there was something about that it really brought it home about what a slaughter it was, about how it was kind of a suicide mission for a lot of those people going in there.
And it makes you feel like you're in the movie. It's
Right.
like it makes you ffeel like you're like I said, like you're panicking. Like I don't want to be here right now, because it's just so realistic.
Well, you know what else is like that? We'll just keep going with war movies.
Yeah.
Black Hawk Down.
Oh, I was gonna ask you about that.
I saw Black Hawk Down.
I
And
love
I don't know
that
if I want to
movie.
see it again because it gave me.
It's so hard to watch that one scene where the soldiers are like trapped and like everyone's like going after them and you're like, oh my god, I want to turn the TV off. because it's like it's. I mean, you know, it's a true story. You know what happens, but still, it's just
Right.
it's just so hard to watch because it's like, could you imagine being in that situation?
I can. That's why I was scared. I was.
Yeah, no, I yes, of course you can. But I mean, I just like I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
I like. It's so difficult, and that was such a well done movie.
It was.
You know, Ridley, it won, I think, 2 or 3 Academy Awards.
Oh, Ridley
I
Scott.
know Ridley Scott was nominated for Best Director, and he didn't win, which was a shame because I thought it was a really, really well done movie. I remember watching it for the first time, and I was blown away
Yeah.
because I wasn't expecting that. You know, because I mean, Josh Hartnett was kind of big at the time, and we're gonna get to Josh Hartnett in a minute because Colin wants us to talk about one of his other war
His
movies.
favorite movie.
But I mean, it was like Josh Hartnett, Tom Sizemore, I think Ewan McGregor was in it. You know, like not like an A-list, but Josh Hartnett was definitely like the headliner in it. And it was just one of those films that you just watch, and it's like, I loved it. But you're right, I don't know if I want to watch it again.
Yeah.
I have seen it again on TV, but I like change the channel at certain times.
All right, let me give you another one that I find that I've always wanted to watch this movie again, and I don't know. It's like I got to prep myself for it. Is oh shoot, I'm forgetting what the name of it is. Robert De Niro and
Oh, Cuba Gooding Jr.
no, that's
No? Oh.
I'm thinking about the one where they go to Vietnam. Why am
Oh,
I
The Deer
forgetting?
Hunter?
Deer Hunter. I always have to gear myself up for it, and I have not been ready
That-
to watch the movie again.
That's a movie I don't think I can watch again. The end of that movie is just so hard to watch.
Yeah.
It's just it's heartbreaking. It's just so sad.
And it's a long movie.
It is a long movie, and you want to talk about performances for the ages. I mean, and just a cast. I mean, De Niro, Meryl Streep, Christopher Walken.
John Savage.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
But Christopher Walken just. I mean, that's his lone Oscar. Obviously, well deserved. But it just. Yeah, the end of that movie is just. It's like heartbreaking. It's
Yeah.
absolutely heartbreaking. It just and not even the end. I mean, the part where they're in the water underneath the bridge or
In the
whatever.
cage, yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's just like
Oh.
it's just a difficult movie to watch.
And here we are talking about war movies, and it can. I feel like it's gotten increasingly hard for me to watch war movies as I get older now. I think about what people have to go through. And these things, because think about it. We're talking about movies and how hard it is for us to watch those movies.
Imagine going through it.
Right. Imagine.
Exactly.
And if you came back, and would you even want to talk about some of these things?
No, I can't even imagine what it would be like. I mean, people that are serving, that have served in the past, that are serving now, that are going to serve in the future. I mean, it's like, thank you
Yeah.
very much. I mean, it's awesome. Thank you for your service. But
You make it so we can get on television and talk about war
exactly and
movies,
talk
so-
about it. I mean, we're making it sound like it's difficult for us to talk about. It's like
Right.
I haven't lived through anything even remotely close to that.
I feel like I'm going to repeat. We did a show on war movies once before, and there were some that were my favorites from the past. Like, I liked, Devil's Brigade, The Dirty Dozen.
Right. Yeah. Older movies that I haven't seen.
Oh, you should see Dirty Dozen. It's like a group. Both of those movies are about a group of outcasts. They probably came out at around the same time. Group of outcasts, Americans. They get thrown together, and depending on who the leader is, I think William Holden is the leader of the Devil's Brigade, and Lee Marvin is the leader of the Dirty Dozen. And they bring these misfits together. They form a bond, and then they have to go in and do a mission, and it's pretty cool. And I like both of them. I think they're both really cool movies. Dirty Dozen has like standout performances by Telly Savalas, Donald Sutherland. I'm trying to think of who the other guy is. John Cassavetes. The other one has this great race by what's I'm trying to think what their names are. What some of the names are. Richard Jackal has this great running scene in Devil's Brigade. I don't know. They're just really inspiring.
You mentioned Donald Sutherland. Makes me think of MASH.
MASH, right?
I mean, it's a war movie, but it's a fun war movie. You know, it's not one of those movies that you walk away from it being like, ugh. You know, it's fun. You know, it's
Right.
him and Elliot Gould, I think, are the two leads. You know, and it's just, and obviously they made a TV series out of it with Alan Alda as the lead. But that's a fun war movie. You know, there's not a lot of fun war movies. They're generally
Right.
tragic and kind of sad. I'm just gonna bring up Pearl Harbor just because Colin brought it
Pearl Harbor, yeah. The greatest war movie ever made
of all time.
of all time.
I mean, it's Michael Bay, so you know it's gonna have a ton of explosions. It had actually a who's who of actors at the time. I mean, Ben Affleck and Josh Hartnett were very big at the time. Kate Beckinsale was coming up. Jennifer Garner's in it. Cuba Gooding Jr., Alec Baldwin.
Well, you remember a lot more about it than I do.
I've seen it way too many times. It's on AMC all the time, and I just, for whatever reason, I watch it. John Voight plays the president. It's got way too many good actors to be such a bad movie. You know, it's like, I mean, I don't know how many Oscars there are between the actors I just mentioned, but way too many for a movie like that, because that movie sucks. Sorry, but that movie is terrible. And it's like 3 hours long. And it's just like, what is the point? Like,
They just missed the mark. They just
Completely.
didn't do it.
huge budget. I mean, it made money. You know, I mean, I guess that's ultimately what the goal is in Hollywood. It's just to make money, but not a good movie. I mean, it's a love story in a war movie, but it's more a love story than anything else, I feel. And it just missed the mark 100%. Just a bad movie.
Maybe it was kind of like an answer to Titanic. It was Michael Bay's answer to Titanic.
Maybe. Except for Titanic won a bunch of awards, and I think Pearl Harbor won a bunch of Razzies.
I'm sure it did. I wonder how this one is. We were looking at this, A Bridge Too Far. It's got this huge cast: Dirk Bogarde, James Caan, Michael Caine, Sean Connery, Edward Fox, Elliot Gould, Gene Hackman, Anthony Hopkins, Hardy Kruger, Laurence Olivier, Ryan O'Neal, Robert
Look at
Redford,
that
Maximilian
cast.
Schell, and Liv Ullmann.
Have not seen it.
Directed by Richard Attenborough.
I'm writing that one down.
And I don't remember seeing it when it came out. I think it's a movie from the 70s.
I haven't seen it. I'm gonna watch it though, because
Oh, man, don't you want to? I mean, when you see that cast,
when you
you're
see
like,
that
wow.
cast, I mean, when Redford's that far down the list, I mean, that must be it's alphabetical. Alphabetical. What about Jarhead?
Jarhead.
What do you think
You
of
let
Jarhead?
me Jarhead, so I've seen that relatively
What did you think of it?
recently. Oh, I liked it. Yeah.
I was disappointed.
Were you?
Considering Sam Mendes directed it and considering the cast, I was expecting a lot more. Because, I mean, Jamie Foxx, fresh off an Oscar, Jake Gyllenhaal had just been nominated for an Oscar, Chris Cooper is a great actor, and I think it's Peter Sarsgaard?
Peter Sarsgaard.
Peter Sarsgaard. I think he's a pretty good actor. I think he's underrated.
Yeah.
And it's based on a true story. I don't know. I think it's just because I've seen so many other war movies that I don't know. I was just kind of. I think it's Desert Storm,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember just being kind of forgettable to me. You know, I don't
I
know.
thought it was pretty good. I mean, I don't know. What's it say? From the Academy Award-winning director of American Beauty. Yeah.
Sam Mendes, his first movie he ever did was American Beauty. He won Best Director. And that's, I think this was the second movie he did. Oh, no, he did Road to Perdition. But he hadn't done many films. And so because everything that he had done was so critically acclaimed that I was expecting it to be so much more. And it just, I'm going to look it up real quick just to see what I get on IMDb. Because I think maybe I'm just being too critical.
I would give it I don't know, 7.5. That's what I'm going to guess that it's at.
I was going to say like under 7. I was going to say like
Wow.
6.8.
I thought it was.
But like I said, I'm pretty critical of it because I was another one actually. Now that we look at it, The Hurt Locker, 7.0 for Jarhead.
7.0. Oh, so I
So-
rated it a little high.
So I think it was in between what you thought and what I thought. But The Hurt Locker, you liked a lot,
yeah.
and
liked
I
The
didn't
Hurt
like it at
Locker.
all. I thought it was very boring. I need action, and there's not. It's more of Jeremy Renner's character just like walking around trying to find bombs, right?
Diffusing bombs. Yeah, there's not a lot of.
It's not a lot of
Action
action,
to it.
and that to me
There's a lot of drama to it.
Yeah, it's way more drama than action, and I'm a fast-paced kind of person.
That's why I didn't recommend Phantom Thread to you.
Yes, no, we talked about that.
I don't
last
think
week.
you're like that.
No, I think I'm probably, unfortunately, as much as I like Daniel Day-Lewis, I'm probably gonna pass on it
Yeah.
because it's probably not. All right, so I'm on Hurt Locker. What do you think?
Hurt Locker, I would give it. I don't know. It won the Academy Award for Best Picture.
Best picture.
8.5.
7.6.
Wow.
And I think that's way too high.
People rated that a lot lower than I thought.
I don't think it was that good of a movie. I think it was just that weak of a year for movies.
And I hadn't seen Jeremy Renner before, so I didn't know Jeremy Renner from Adam. So I thought he was pretty impressive.
I had seen him before and didn't realize that I had seen him before until that movie. He was actually in 28 Weeks Later,
Oh.
which is the sequel
The
to
zombie
28
movie.
Days Later.
Oh.
And he was actually really good in it. He's one of the lead characters. And I didn't know who he was. You know,
Right.
it's one of those people that, you know, he wasn't a household name or whatever. This made him famous. And then he was in The Town the next year. He was nominated for 2 years in a row or I think The Town was a couple of years later. But he was nominated for Best Actor for this. He was nominated for Supporting Actor for The Town. And now everybody knows him. You know, I mean, he's Hawkeye, obviously, which is
Right.
a pretty mainstream character. But in general, I mean, he's an American Hustle. You know, he's getting really good roles.
Yeah, I
he's
think
a
he
re-
did Wind River. Was that this past year before?
I'm not
It's a
sure.
real good movie.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's very, very talented actor. Absolutely. And he's one of those guys that I think he's actually on my list of actors that haven't won an Oscar that should.
yeah.
Because he's definitely talented enough. There was one other one I was going to ask you about. And Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. Well, I watched your version of it.
We got to talk about that real quick. We only have a couple minutes left, but I mean, Martin Sheen, I think he is on my list also of best actors that have never won an Oscar.
Yeah.
He's won many Emmys for The West Wing, but he's such a talented actor. I mean, he was great in The American President, playing the chief of staff to Michael Douglas. But I mean, in Apocalypse Now, I mean, he's the star of that movie. You know, I mean,
Right.
obviously they probably top billed it as Marlon Brando, but Brando's in what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? He's in the end,
Yeah,
pretty much.
he's-
That's it.
It's not his movie.
No, it's definitely Martin Sheen's movie, and he carries it all the way through, and he's great in it. From the opening scene where he kind of like freaks out when he's like messed up on whatever, and all the way through, he's the leader. He's on a mission, and
Yeah.
he absolutely carries that movie, and that's a great movie.
I think we talked about this. I read that Harvey Keitel was originally cast,
Right.
and I think they shot some of the movie with Harvey Keitel, and then Coppola decided
He wasn't the
didn't like
guy, right? And then he went with Sheen afterwards.
it. Which is interesting. Harvey Keitel's also a veteran,
Oh.
so I just know some of the people that were. Harvey Keitel was. Yeah, he's a guy. Maybe we should do a show on Harvey Keitel one time. Because we were talking about some of the Scorsese movies, and he's obviously in tight with Scorsese.
You know what killed me was last night on TMC or TCM, Turner Classic Movies, was Mean Streets, and I clicked on it, and I had to subscribe to it. I'm like, seriously, that channel?
Right.
I was like, so I didn't watch it, but it just, I don't know.
Well, I was flipping through. I found this list of Ebert's best movies ever. It's a huge list too. I was going through Mean Streets, 4-star movie. It's one of the best.
It's excellent. I love that movie. Like I said, I like it better than Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
I really did. But Apocalypse Now, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's a messed up movie. It's long. What do you think? Like 2.5 hours, maybe?
Yeah, it's
You know, it's.
quite the long movie.
Yeah, I mean Robert Duvall. I mean the cast is. I mean it's a Coppola movie, so he's one of those directors back in the day that he'll use the same actors for multiple movies. Duvall, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. You know that's a classic movie line of all time. I think we're out of time pretty much. Do you want to do names for my hat next week, or do we want to see if I can find my iconic characters list? And
I don't know. Why don't we just say we're going to do names from a hat next week?
We're gonna do names for my hat next week.
That'll give me a week to think of some names.
Sounds good. I got a couple right here. Colin gave me one. I had one that I wanted to talk about. But this is the best pictures this week. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you for everyone that serves. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
I'm Don Tretler, and these are the ones you
You
don't,
don't
want
want
to
to
miss.
miss.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Here's Johnny. Go ahead. Make my day.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.